about why do we need sleep? Why is it important?
Yeah, so I get asked a lot about sleep as well, and often parents have had a really difficult time. They've tried everything, they're at their wits' end. Why do we need sleep? It's really important for lots of functions, one of which is to kind of restore the body, let it recover, rest, grow. Another one is about setting down memories and embedding them, and that really helps with learning as well. And the third one is about resetting emotions. And we know ourselves, if we have a rubbish night's sleep, we often feel much less tolerant of things the next day.
As a parent then, if you're trying to kind of support your child's sleep habits and sleep routine, because you know kind of the impact it can have, what kind of advice would you give?
So there's kind of a tick-off list you can go through, which many parents would have tried already. So things like having good sleep hygiene, which means keeping the bedroom cool, dark, not too exciting. Making sure they've had daylight during the day and some fresh air and exercise, because that will help them to naturally build that melatonin that helps them sleep. Avoiding caffeine, which is in chocolate and in some fizzy drinks. Listening to some relaxing music or having a warm bath. Perhaps helping the child clear their brain of worries and thoughts, and you can just jot those down on a bit of paper to help them get that out of their head, so they don't have to keep worrying about them and thinking about them through the night. And having a regular get up and go to bedtime every day, because then the body gets used to that, and that can be really helpful. I think it's also important to acknowledge for parents, and certainly me as a parent trying to get my kids to sleep, is that I often get really cross about it when they won't go to bed. Yeah. And I've started to have to acknowledge how I'm feeling at bedtime, which is probably not helping them. They're probably seeing me getting wound up, and that's triggering them as well. So acknowledging that it can be really hard and frustrating to tell them for the millionth time, brush your teeth, get your pyjamas on. I remember when my kids were little, I made a little picture book of the bedtime routine, because kids love to be in a book about themselves, and it was kind of, this is the routine, we do this, we have tea, we'll maybe watch a bit of CBeebies or have a bedtime game, and then we go up the stairs and we do teeth brushing, put pyjamas on, snuggle into bed with a favourite toy, talk about the day, what we've enjoyed that day. And that can be another useful thing to do. Write down a few things that you've enjoyed about your day, so you have an experience of gratitude just before you go to sleep as well. And then just have the same consistent pattern every night, because then the brain tunes into like, oh, these are the cues that are setting me up for sleep.
I think that's really interesting, actually. It made me think about times when I haven't been able to get to sleep and I get so angry at myself. Yes. And I keep saying to myself, just go to sleep, Lauren, just go to sleep.
But it can be elusive, can't it?
Yeah, and then it makes it worse. And I found what kind of helps me personally is, okay, accepting it's really frustrating me that I can't get to sleep right now, and then just kind of trying to kind of relax after that, and maybe do some breathing exercises and things like that. But definitely a routine is something that personally I feel has helped me, is to it almost like your body knows that the sleep time's coming before you actually recognise it yourself. How would you support a parent that some parents might feel like they've tried everything already? How would you go about supporting a parent if they do feel that way and they feel like they've exhausted all options?
So one of the first things I might suggest is actually keeping a log of what actually is the current situation, because when you are tired yourself, because obviously if kids are not sleeping, often parents are not sleeping either, keep a log of exactly what you're doing and when and what's happening, so that you've got a true picture of what the current situation is. So went to bed at this time, woke up at these 3 times, or not at all. And then you can see where you've started from. And then choose one of the strategies that I've mentioned earlier, and just keep going with that one repeatedly for a couple of weeks until it feels like that's a natural one that's going well, and then add another one in. And just take it little by little, but persevere. But also, don't expect it's going to change overnight. If it's taken 6 years of not sleeping, it's not going to get fixed in a week or 2 weeks.
I'm also wondering as well if you could, is it about helping the child understand why you might be asking them to do these things as well? Maybe try to open up conversations about why sleep's important, so that if there are changes, like say you're making a book together or you're trying to create a different routine, that there's a shared understanding of why those changes are happening as well, because I wonder whether a child's initial response to a change might be a little bit uncertain and a little bit worried, so I wonder if that could be a strategy in itself, just opening up that conversation.
And they could be part of the scientific inquiry of, well, let's try this and see how we both feel about this, and what did it work for you, did it work for me, and then let's try something else.
Yeah, that sounds great.